when my mom died, I stayed for a couple months and helped him a bit, but other than that, no, he didn't want me there, and here I am. I've been here for 4 months.
No choice, right? You get a $600 check a month, and then you're paying this rent that's claimed to be $1,200 for a single bedroom or even a room. So how do you do it?
Do we have our priorities right in terms of how we treat foreigners versus domestics?
Not by any means, no. No, not at all.
People are living in our streets and they're dying in our streets, and it doesn't have to be this way.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Hamilton, Ontario. And folks, I'm at Bayfront Park. It is a beautiful park at first blush, but appearances can be deceiving. And talk about a dichotomy. Behind me, you see a marina. There are some ships here that are easily well into the six figures. But you know what else is also here at this park? Homeless encampments. And by that I mean all throughout the park, there are homeless encampments. There are tent cities that have sprung up. And, well, what can be done about this? Now, I can tell you this much. Earlier this week, Hamilton Mayor Andrea Horwath had a press conference to address this issue, and what was the end result? Well, it was to study the issue even more. She wants staff to submit a report on September 18th.
With instructions to research and develop a plan for sanctioned temporary outdoor shelter sites here in the city of Hamilton, and report to Council at the September 18th, 2024 General Issues Committee with that plan.
Wonder what that'll be. In the meantime, there seems to be absolutely no reason to hurry up and do something about the homeless problem. Studies indicate that there are about 1,600 homeless people here, and at least 200 of them live outside, including in parks. It is noted that in the past year, the homelessness crisis has worsened amid an unprecedented shortage of shelter beds and affordable homes, which in turn has led to, quote, disruptions, end quote, of businesses and feelings of unease among city staff. These are words attributed to Andrea Horwath. Disruptions of business? Well, I can tell you, when my cameraman Lincoln J and I came into the city earlier today, one of the first sites to greet us was a local Dairy Queen. Here, check this out. There are people literally camped out at a Dairy Queen, a couch even. I mean, imagine being the owner of this Dairy Queen. Imagine having to convey to people, families coming for an ice cream, that is perfectly fine and safe to eat here or sit on their picnic table. And meanwhile, on the side of the business, there are these unhappy campers. Look, I'm not trying to blame homeless people, but I don't think anyone has the right to go on private property and be a camper there. But then again, as we saw with the hobos for Hamas, it looks like the rules have changed. Maybe they're just chanting genocide, and that gives them the green light from law enforcement and the political class. And speaking of the political class, let's not forget that Andrea Horwath was originally the failed Ontario leader of the NDP party in this province. And missing from her press conference in terms of, studying the issue endlessly, was the fact that maybe there should be a call out to the federal government that bringing in so many immigrants when our cities already have a housing crisis, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe this is something that must come to an end.
There are a lot of pressures on our system. Increasing the immigration levels, interestingly, will take some of the pressure off of the system because the stream on bringing in permanent residents has got room to bring in more, and it's when people come as refugees and try to flip or get refugee crisis status that it sort of slows down the system a little bit. So increasing the levels will actually help bring in more people to respond to that.
But no, that doesn't fit into Mayor Horwath's ideology, I suspect. So in the meantime, we're going to continue seeing the streets and parks of Hamilton basically being overrun by people who just don't have a place to go. It's a shame, and it really does need to end. What is it like, basically camping out in the park, being exposed to the elements, not having a door to lock? What is it like being a homeless person here?
Scary sometimes, you got to worry about people coming in all the time, and people steal from you all the time.
Oh, is that right?
All the time, yeah. But I actually like it. I don't mind living outside. I don't mind. I hate not having a shower, and because we don't have bathrooms or anything, but they open the bathrooms over there from 8 till 8, but other than that, we don't have a bathroom, we don't have a shower, we don't have anything to cook, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty hard.
How do you get by in terms of the day-to-day necessities? For example, food. I know I saw a van come by.
There's lots of people that bring food.
Is that right?
Every day, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And these are just good Samaritans?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
then.
Some people, church people, yep. Yeah. Every day people bring food.
How did you personally find yourself homeless in the first place?
Force and position from, I guess, fault from common law practice. Man and woman, they have a breakup, and here you end up having a bunch of faults, and you give up on yourself. Put me in the place of, I guess call it nowhere land,
I'm sorry to hear that. Did that lead to maybe substance abuse issues?
Yes, it did.
Okay, then. And are you clean and sober now, or are you still working on that?
I'm unfortunately not clean and sober, but I mentioned that there is a lot of things being worked on, but...
And also, Jane, when it comes to, you said you don't mind being outdoors. Today is a beautiful summer day. It's one thing being in a tent in a park in August in this country. It's quite another kettle of fish, say, in January. How do you...
Haven't been there yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
You're recently homeless then?
Recently, 4 months now.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
What are your contingency plans to stay warm?
I have no idea yet. I don't. I'm hoping to get an apartment, but it's not going very well.
What do you do when the inclement weather comes along?
The last 3 years, it was pretty sad. I think it was only about 2.5 years. I spent one in jail, so I mentioned a couple faults, and still working on that. But the practice was to find a local lobby or a mentionable hospital that will let you sit there and, just, I guess, claim the evening hours as it dropped below, 15 or maybe a little bit colder. But it was
I would imagine a lot of people are saying compared to minus 15 in the winter, maybe jail is an upgrade in terms of creature comforts.
This is true. Yeah. And I was practicing this, and a lot of people were going in and out of jail for common, almost like a mischief, just to basically accept to house themselves. Wow. No choice, right? You get a $600 check a month, and then you're paying this rent that's claimed to be $1,200 for a single bedroom or even a room. So how do you do it? Is maybe putting the brakes on immigration one of the solutions?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, you notice that most people that are homeless are white. Just saying.
I actually did not notice that, but now that you make mention of it.
They are. Most people panhandling are white.
And, on that vein, we know, and we've been to several of them, you can be an illegal alien coming into Canada, and you are put up in hotels. Some of these hotels are in Niagara Falls with a view of the falls, for goodness sakes. Do we have our priorities right in terms of how we treat foreigners versus domestics?
Not by any means, no. No, not at all.
Well, there you have it, folks. It is a sad situation indeed when you speak to many of the inhabitants who reside in these tent cities. Well, quite frankly, they are people who have made wrong turns in life. Many of them, unsurprisingly, suffer from addiction issues, but still something has to be done. This cannot be the status quo moving forward in Canada. And for Andrea Horwath, the mayor of Hamilton, earlier this week, saying that we're going to study the issue and have a report about it. Why are so many levels of government so committed to studying issues and problems as opposed to, acting tangibly on them? And in the department of there's plenty of blame to go around, let's not forget the federal government, the Justin Trudeau Liberals. How is it we have a situation where the domestic homeless are ending up in tents in the park? Meanwhile, we have thousands of illegal aliens coming over to Canada, and they're getting put up in 3- and 4-star hotel rooms. It does not compute. But I will say this, I'm not claiming to have all the answers in terms of fixing the homeless issue, but it would seem to me that if we already had, for years now, a housing problem, what are the Justin Trudeau Liberals thinking about bringing in record numbers of immigrants to our country? That can only exacerbate the problem, and besides, whatever happened to that old saying, charity begins at home. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, too many of our cities and towns right across our great dominion are just being ruined by woke, ideologically driven politicians, turning a blind eye from everything to homelessness, to violence, to heck, even chants for genocide. Are you sick and tired of this? We sure are. Please go to our new petition, fixourcities.com. That's fixourcities.com. Sign the petition. And by the way, while you're there, if you're able to, kindly make a donation so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the other side of the story.